What did we talk about at the beginning of the section? Put yourself in the context of the founding fathers. Make sure you understand what it is, and then we limit the government. You're right. You should have a well-regulated militia. Militia in that time and context means a group of people, your neighbors that you live with, you barter with, you train with, and you have a plan for if the government becomes tyrannical. Right. That's the point of having small communities. It's why we're federalists. It's the entire reason, everybody. It's find a tribe, love the tribe, find the goal to the end of America and move your tribe towards it. And if that tribe is Florida or Texas or the small enclave of Southern California, Huntington Beach, where everybody's red, but everybody else is around them is blue, you find that tribe and you make sure that you're ready to go. You should be well trained. You think I don't have to? Well, the NSA has all my text messages. We'll talk about that in the fourth. But you think I don't talk to my friends? You think I don't have a blowout plan? You think I don't, hey man, if something happens up here, we're coming to you. If something happens down to you, you're coming to us. And here's what you need to bring. We're good. That is a militia. That's what it is. You're an American citizen of your own free will and independent rights, God-given big R rights. There is no person that should be able to come and attack you. And you know what? I got a squad in this neighborhood right now. I know where the long guns are. I know where we're moving. That's what a militia is, right?
Same.
And put yourself in the context. The government disarmed you. They owned you. They held you under your thumb. And they were like, no, first things first and the second. The first thing that we're going to do is, you should train. You should know how to procure water. You should know how to do all these other things. And I know we've lost sight with it. However, that's where their context was. So that's what they mean by that.
I'm really glad that you made that point, because I'm gonna make the point from like an English standpoint, because like one of the things that people like to do is it's legalese. They like to twist the language. And then if you say a lie enough times and you say it confidently enough, then people start to believe you, even though it's got no base in truth. Right. And we'll get to this when we start talking about separation of church and state. But like, if you say it enough times and you say it confidently enough, people, so it's like, well, a well-regulated militia, right? In the context of the time in the 17th century, 18th century, when they were writing this, they didn't need to write for a well-regulated militia, because in the context of the time in English, they understood they were more eloquent people. It's us that are actually the retards today that can't read English and understand it. Right. So you have a well-regulated militia, then a parenthetical phrase being necessary to the security of a free state. Set that one aside, because that's the reason what I'm talking about.
That's supporting facts for the first one. Right. This is how English works.
The right of the people, because to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, because what he's saying is it's the people that make up the well-regulated militia, because back then it was who ended up making up the Revolutionary Army were the militias of the individual towns.
And they all joined together.
Right. And there's one famous example, and I can't remember the name of the reverend, but there's one militia that ended up becoming like a raider unit in the Revolutionary Army, and their drill instructor, their main drill guy at the time, was the local reverend of the town, and they stored all the weapons in the church. And then this pastor was the drill commander, and they would go out and they would do drills after church on Sundays, or like on Saturdays before evening church out in front of the church. And like, he was the guy that would run drill because he was the community leader. Right. And so it's like the time that you're talking about is so different from the time now, where it's like we're all doom scrolling Instagram all the time. It's like these people were practicing with their muskets. They were setting up targets. They were practicing loading and unloading procedures. They were going through the stuff. And so what they're saying here is they're like, you know what? What was the first thing that the British did to us when they came in and they marched through Boston? Oh, that's right. They rounded up all the muskets. They melted them down for iron, and they took away our guns. And so they were like, you know what?
A disarmed population.
For a well-regulated militia.
Never happened before.
Yeah.
Being necessary to the security of a free state, the rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So
wait,
I am
Chris,
from the standpoint.
I got a question for you. I'm going to hit you with the close mic talk, Joe Biden. Hey, buddy, I got a question for you.
Hey,
when you say shall not be infringed, but you couldn't own cannons, could you?
You could. That's one of my favorites.
You couldn't own cannons. It's restricted because of
you're going to need an F-15 because you're not allowed to have weapons.
If I had a nickel, Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time, well, but that's a weird thing to have 25 fucking cents for. That's the thing. No, you 100% could. They wrote it specifically for that. Again, you have to put yourself. If the first applies to Instagram, the second applies to Modern Arms. Just get that out of the way right now. Right. And then number two, no, that's again, put yourself in the framing. A bunch of people that thought you had individual God-given rights free from the religious oppression of a theocracy. You could make your own decisions for your own life. They wrote a list of things the government isn't allowed to do. They're not allowed to make you worship somebody else. They're not allowed to you are allowed to tell them when they're wrong. They can't retaliate for you. You can say whatever you want. And then they took the time in the Second Amendment to be like, you have the inherent right to self-defense. And anything that the government has, you should have as well.